Just watering the green stock for the morning. It's supposed to be 60 outdoor temp, sunny until about 10 a.m. this morning, and then clouding over. So doing some watering in here. Potatoes look like they're probably good. I watered them later yesterday. I'm gonna probably water this bag here, and then I need to also add soil soon to these. So I try to water these most days while they're in the greenhouse because they do tend to dry out a lot faster in here. But they're looking pretty healthy. The frost damage is not very noticeable anymore. So pretty happy with that. The beans are still doing really good. The kale is really coming into it. Good here. I've got a bunch of beet greens coming up, spinach, carrots, tons of weeds in the back that I need to get to. Some of them will have burgers, so I gotta remember to grab my gloves. The onions and bunching onions I kind of sprinkled in this bed just for the short term, and then the mustard greens we've already been eating. They're ready to pick again this morning, so kind of excited about that. Over here, got all the flower starts, yarrow, snapdragons, and stock. And then the lettuce is actually recovering pretty well from yesterday's heat issues. Still a few that I need to snip off, but not as bad as it looked yesterday. There. Rhubarb I need to get in the ground, and then parsley as well. And then I actually took out all the onions, and I'm doing that because it's going to be nice and cloudy for the next couple days. I moved the onions outside. Let me go over there. Move the onions over here because I do need to plant some of these, the yellowing ones. I want to get those in the ground, hopefully today, maybe this afternoon. But the onions are pretty hardy, so they can tolerate light frosts. So moving them out of the greenhouse allows me to have a lot more space. And then we'll move the cheap temporary greenhouse that we put together last night. We'll move that out here as well, and then some of the flowers will go in there that I've already been accustomed to the cooler nights from inside the basement to the hoop house with the heater at night. And the low temps, I think this week are 40s, so we should be fine. If they do end up being colder, I will move those. But again, that's going to give us a whole table of space in that in the hoop house there, where I can bring out tomatoes. So the tomatoes, and I will do a video on hardening off the tomatoes when I talked about it a little bit in last night's video. But I cheat a little bit on that, and I've had really good results last year, and I expect to have the same results this year. So I will definitely go over that, because even if you don't have a hoop house, you can still duplicate what I'm doing on a bed or outside on a table with just a cloth over it, using frost cloth and doubling it up. So there's options. So I will continue to update, but I was just doing morning watering. It's gorgeous out here this morning. Watered the garlic over here and the peas. So with the raised beds, they drain really well, which is a blessing and a curse. So last year with the rainy summers, we had really good produce, didn't have any real issues from all the rain we got, where neighbors were really jealous of how well the raised beds did versus the in-ground beds that they had. Every time they'd come up and visit, they'd get mad at me. But I do need to make sure that I am watering, and I do hand water these right now. I just watched Epic Gardening's or Epic Homesteading video on the new irrigation systems, and that is something that we've been looking at doing, of running pipe underneath the mulch, and then the pipe would come up into the corners or the center, depending on what type of bed we're doing. And would come up here with a PVC pipe, and then would have a spigot basically at this point inside the bed. So you wouldn't see anything on the outside, wouldn't see anything on the ground. And then each bed would be able to be adjusted for watering depending on what's growing in there, because all the different plants need different things. So when I'm planning a bed, I'm actually thinking about how much water do these things need? Is it like for like fertilizer and nutrients that they're going to need? If it's completely drastic, I'm going to put them in a different bed. And then also understanding the companion planting as well. So things like legumes do well with potatoes, for example, but a lot of things don't do well with potatoes. So being aware of that is really important. But I just thought I'd say good morning, and I think we are going to take a drive and go check out a tree nursery this morning, which I'm really excited about. We're starting to plan our orchard area, and so I'm going to do some research over at the tree farm. And then we're going to go visit a local vegetable plant farm that has just reopened, I think, a couple weeks ago for the season. So we're going to go check that out today and probably buy a few things, but hopefully not too much. But we'll be over there. Maybe I'll take some video while I'm there and show you guys what they have going on. We're here in North Central Mass, Zone 5B. We're the last frost date of, I think average last frost date is around May 20th. Most people don't plant their gardens out here until Memorial Day is pretty common for New England.